Welcome back to Mike's Gun World. Today I want to get into the Wayback Machine a little bit and go back to the late 1800s, early 1900s, and talk about a top break 410 single shot breech loading shotgun. This particular gun was actually on the trash heap ready to be destroyed when I found it about 10 years ago and picked it up. It wasn't firing back then. I did manage to strip it down, and I did that quite a number of years ago. Strip it down, figured out the problem, got that all solved, and it now fires wonderfully. Open it up, stick a 410 shell in there. It is chambered in 3-inch. Close it. Once you close it, it's still not ready to fire. You actually physically have to pull the hammer back. So fire, open it back up, and that shell will shoot out about 20 feet. But what's intriguing about this gun is there is no arms manufacturer stamped anywhere on the receiver or barrel. It's simply stamped, 410 bore, 3-inch chamber, Model C on this side of the receiver, and then on the other side of the receiver, it's stamped Whippet, HSB&Co, and then it's got a little stamp of a Whippet dog jumping through the air. So it was really kind of driving me nuts on who the manufacturer was until my wife stumbled across HSB&Co and figured out that it was Hibbard, Spencer, Bartlett and Company, and they were a chain of hardware stores starting in the late 1880s in the Chicagoland area. And they were in business in Chicago until 1962 when they were purchased by and rebranded True Value. So with that being said, I was able to figure out that the original designer of this was a company called Crescent Firearms, like 1880. And then in 1893, H&D Firearms purchased Crescent Firearms and started producing these for companies like HSB&Co. And then they would stamp the gun however they wanted them stamped. So HSB&Co decided they wanted to stamp these Whippet and put the HSB&Co logo on here with a picture of with the stamp of the Whippet dog. So that took a lot of the confusion out of who produced these. Now, am I 100% factual? There's really not a lot of information on these. If you do happen to have something to add, please leave it down in the comments below. Now, H&D Firearms, they were bought out in like 1931 by Savage Stevens. And Savage Stevens continued to make pretty much the same design, and I happen to have one of those too. So this one's from the Whippet I've got dialed into somewhere in the late 1880s, early 1900s. It's got a very low serial number, so it's a little bit of an assumption on my part, but I think it's a pretty good one. This gun's got to be post 31 because it is stamped on the side Stevens. So basically still the same design. It's top break, single shot breech load 410. You have to pull the hammer back to fire it, and then when you open the breech, the shell pops out. These are not very high value guns. I found the Stevens on Gunbroker for $100. I put a bid in and nobody else bid on it, so I was the lucky winner. When I got it, the owner failed to mention that the firing pin was broken. So it took me quite a while to find the firing pin. I did finally find it, get it in place, and this one also fires quite nicely. So really what the video is about, if you have one of these and you're having problems, they're not the easiest to take down, but I did figure it all out. And I did want to put a video together on how to disassemble and then reassemble. So with that being said, let's get to the video.
Hey, if you're liking our videos, you're liking our content, please hit like, subscribe, leave some comments down below. I try to get back to you as quickly as possible, and I always do appreciate the feedback. Also, don't forget to hit the little bell so you're notified every time we drop some new content. Finally, you can follow us on Facebook at Mike's Gunworld, and if you need to reach me directly, you can hit me up at mikesgunworld@gmail.com. All of your support is always appreciated. Okay, now let's get to the video.
Okay, let's start with the basics. The forestock here underneath, literally, there's a spring in here. If you pull the top of it right here, it will just snap out of place like that, and your forestock comes off. Then what you want to do is just open up the breech, and the barrel falls right off the lug. So we've now separated the lower receiver, the barrel, and the forestock. We don't need the barrel and forestock. We can get those out of the way. The next thing, we've got to get the butt plate off. There's a couple of screws back here. Pretty simple. Zip those out. And then, been watching any of my World War II series. It has the same long screw in the buttstock that holds it to the receiver. So all the way down in this hole right here, I don't know if we're going to be able to get this on camera there. You can see the slotted screw head right there. So you need kind of a long screwdriver to go in there and catch it. So yeah, I think that screw is going to need a little bit of grease as we put it back together, but you want to just keep turning it. It's coming free there, and we're totally free now. And right there is the end of the screw, and I can tell you, it's not the easiest to get back onto the frame. Okay, so let's talk through the parts, because this is fairly complicated takedown, and it's good to understand what's what and pay close attention if you're going to attempt this, because it is not one of the easier takedowns. So there's on the release lever up here, which is what releases the locking block, which locks the barrel in place. There's two pins and studs, two springs and studs right on each side. So the one on the left side of the gun it's got a point, it's got a stud with a point, and it fits into a little dimple right here. And then on the other side, this one is forked and sits around the release stud that sits through here. And then that's all held together by a screw right here. Then these are the locking block arms. So the release is pulling those arms and dropping the locking block to let the barrel open up. Then obviously we have the hammer, and then there are two pins here that need to be drifted out. This lower pin holds the hammer in place, and this upper pin holds the whole locking block and arms in place. And then we have the mainspring stud, and then there's a little plunger on the end here. And then before we really get started with the breakdown, the one thing I did want to show you is the Whippet. The Whippet insignia here on the side, and HSB&Co, and then the actual little outline of the Whippet dog. I think we can see that on camera. There we go. So that is the Whippet. Okay, those are the parts and pieces. Let's get going with the takedown. Okay, so these springs are under a lot of pressure. This one here on the left side of the gun, I could actually take a pair of needle nose and pull it back and get it off. But the one with the fork on the right side of the frame, you really can't do that. And the main spring is really, really, really tight. So the first thing I'm going to do is drift out this upper pin here. No, I apologize. This lower pin. Yeah, no, this upper pin here that holds the locking block and the locking block arms in place. So we're just going to take the pressure off of that. I got my smithing block. Doesn't take them much to drift these out. They go left to right. Yeah, when we put them back in, we're going to put them back in right to left. That pin aside. Now it's loosened the locking block, but that's still held in place by this screw. So the next thing we want to do, and it's not real easy because this screw is in a bad spot, but we're going to take this screw off, which is going to allow us to remove this collar. And once we get this collar off, we're going to start loosening everything up in here and be able to get these two sets of springs out. So you sort of have to go in on an angle with a screwdriver and just get that screw turned. And once you turn it a little bit, it's fairly easy to get out. It's finger loose at this point. Get that out of the way. Okay. Let's put that aside. So we've got the one pin and the screw out. Now what I want to do is I want to pry this collar off right here. I'm going to use my same screwdriver and kind of wedge it in here and pry it out like that. Now you can see we're starting to get some pressure off of these springs for these latch springs for the locking block. And this left side spring is about to pop out, and it did. It popped right off the stud for the release, and that springs out. And it's important to notate the orientation. When it goes back in the gun, it sits like this to the right side of the the frame. We do have the collar out at this point. There, the collar is out. And when it goes back in, it's oriented this way. Now there should be enough pressure off of this spring to just, with thumb and forefinger, get that spring out. And I said there's a little bit of a point on the stud here, and then in the back of the locking block arms, right here, there's a little dimple, and that's where that front of the pin kind of seats right in that dimple. Now again, both of these arms, I can't get that spring off, but both of these arms actually do slide through the back of the frame here. So they do, as you maneuver the release and the springs are compressed, they come back through these holes in the back of the receiver. So we've got those out. The lever release just comes right out. It's studded. We've got our locking block and arms completely loose. The last thing we have to do now is drift out the pin for the hammer, and this mainspring is under a ton of pressure. It's very difficult to get out of here. I like to loosen up the hammer and give myself a little room to work. Putting it back in is the real challenge, and we're going to try to get that done in one take. So let's drift out the hammer pin. And that is out. So you can see the mainspring kind of pushed everything forward. Separate that pin over to the side. And now we've taken really most of the pressure off of the mainspring. There's still some on there. With the hammer forward, you should be able to just, yeah, there you go, slide the mainspring out the back. Like I said, that's in 3 pieces. You have the main spring, the mainspring stud, and there's a little bit of a high spot here and a low spot here. So this goes to the top and this goes to the bottom of the hammer. And then there's a cap that fits on the end. And then that cap gets seated right back here in the back of the frame. At this point, the hammer just comes on up through the top like that. And then here comes our locking block and locking block arms. Okay, that's how you take it down. It doesn't seem all that complicated, and it really isn't. It just takes some time and patience. The last thing is to get the trigger and trigger spring out. And quite honestly, for this demonstration, I don't think we need to do it, but it's important to note that the only way to ever get this trigger and trigger spring back in is have the gun fully disassembled and the trigger and trigger spring goes, back into place. It's a simple pin right here and just a simple spring underneath here. And then I do have a broken trigger guard. It's broke back here. Take that screw out and the trigger guard comes right off. But that is your disassembly of the, let's just call it the Whippet of HSB&Co. 410 breech loading top brake single shot 410. Okay, so that's a Whippet teardown. Really not all that difficult if you follow the right steps. It's fairly easy. Not the easiest frame to work inside of. It's pretty tight in there. That's the end of part 1. In part 2, we're actually going to show you how to reassemble it, which is a little bit more challenging and counterintuitive to the way we took it down. We're going to put it back together in a slightly different way that makes it a little bit easier to get it back together. So anyway, if you are liking the channel, you're liking the content, please hit like and subscribe. Leave some comments down below, especially anything to do with this Whippet HSB&C 410 top brake breech loading single shotgun. And then remember to hit the little bell, because every time we drop new content, you'll be notified that we drop something new. Listen, all of your support is always very much appreciated. We will see you soon for part 2, the reassembly of the Whippet.